Did you know that you could be losing money every day without even realizing it? That's right. Many people are making simple but extremely harmful financial mistakes, and the worst part, they don't even know it. The good news is that in this video, I'm going to reveal the 7 most common financial mistakes that are causing you to lose money every month. And the best part is, I'm going to teach you exactly what to do to fix these mistakes right now and stop wasting your money. After years of helping people improve their financial health, I know exactly what works and, more importantly, what doesn't work. Today, you're going to learn how to change these habits, and the impact will be immediate. So, if you're tired of watching your money slip through your fingers, stay with me until the end. Together, we'll uncover these mistakes and how you can start transforming your financial life right now. How many times have you felt exhausted from working all month, only to realize that at the end, there's nothing left? You start asking yourself, where did all that money go? The truth is, many of us are working to pay off interest and bills, not to build our wealth. The money we earn, instead of being invested or used wisely, ends up in the hands of banks, finance companies, and businesses that take advantage of our planning mistakes. The problem is that most people don't realize they are falling victim to invisible financial mistakes, the kind that accumulate over time, draining their resources without them even knowing it. And when things start to tighten, the blame is often placed on low salaries or bad luck. But the reality is that poor financial decisions are what's causing your money to disappear month after month. Here's the big challenge. These mistakes aren't obvious, and we don't always see the immediate impact. But over the years, these small choices accumulate, and before we know it, we're buried in debt, interest, and unnecessary expenses. And the worst part, we don't know where to start changing things. In this video, I'm going to show you how to identify these invisible mistakes and help you make smarter financial decisions to finally change this reality. Let's start now, before it's too late. Now that you understand the impact of these invisible mistakes, let's take it a step further and talk about the practical solutions you can apply to your financial life, starting with the 7 mistakes you're making without even knowing it. Now that you understand how these mistakes can affect your finances, I want to show you that there's a way to change them. And before you think that you need a higher income or advanced financial knowledge, let me reassure you, it's none of that. The solution lies in identifying and correcting simple habits that are sabotaging your money. Today, I'm going to reveal the 7 most common financial mistakes that make you lose money without even realizing it. These mistakes range from obvious things, like the reckless use of credit cards, to more subtle traps, such as hidden fees in your investments, or the mindset of work more to earn more. And most importantly, for each mistake, I'm going to share a practical solution that you can apply today. It doesn't matter your age, income, or current situation. These tips work for anyone who wants to take control of their finances. So here's the plan. We'll talk about how to stop working for the bank and start working yourself, how to avoid credit card traps, how to identify invisible expenses, and most importantly, how to change the way you think about money. From now on, you'll turn these mistakes into opportunities to make your money grow. Let's start with the first mistake, which is something that affects almost everyone and needs to be corrected immediately: working for the bank and not for yourself. Let's begin with a mistake that many people make without realizing it: working for the bank and not for yourself. It may sound strange, but this is exactly what happens when you get stuck in debts, interest, and monthly payments that only increase instead of decrease. What happens in practice is that when you take out a loan, use a credit card, you're making an agreement with the bank. They lend you the money now, but they charge you much more in the future with very high interest rates. These compounded interest rates create a financial snowball that just keeps growing, and you continue working to pay off this debt month after month. Let's look at a practical example. Let's say you have a debt of 1,000 Brazilian reals on your credit card with an interest rate of 10% per month. If you pay only the minimum payment, which is usually about 10% of the total bill, in no time you'll owe not just the initial 1,000 Brazilian reals, but also the accumulated interest. This means that instead of working to build your wealth, you're working to pay the banks. The solution to this mistake is simple, but it requires discipline. Pay off your debts as quickly as possible. When you commit to paying off your debts, especially those with high interest rates, you begin to direct your money to what really matters, like investment and building assets. At the same time, You can learn to use compound interest to your advantage by investing strategically and benefiting from the growth of your money over time. Practical tip: make a plan to pay off your most expensive debts first, using the avalanche or snowball method. If possible, look for refinancing options with lower interest rates to reduce the amount of interest you're paying. Now, imagine how your financial life would change if you started investing that money instead of giving it to the bank. It would change everything. Now that you understand the importance of quickly paying off debt, let's talk about another fatal mistake: the reckless use of credit cards and how it can be a quick path to bankruptcy. For your credit card and commit to never exceeding them, even if there are tempting promotions. The key is not to let credit control you, but to control credit strategically, using it as a tool to improve your credit score and not to sink your finances. Now that you know how to avoid the danger of credit cards, let's talk about the third mistake, a consumption habit that many people don't realize: how impulse buying can destroy your finances. Have you ever found yourself saying yes to things that, deep down, you know won't get you anywhere financially? The third mistake many people make without realizing it is not knowing how to say no to things that aren't really essential but are draining your money and energy. In today's society, we're constantly bombarded with temptation, from irresistible promotions to new product launches that everyone seems to be buying. The social pressure to consume and keep up with trends can be strong, and we often end up making impulse purchases or buying things to impress others instead of focusing on what truly matters for our financial future. This behavior can be a major obstacle on the path to wealth. Now, imagine the impact of stopping to reflect before making consumption decisions. If you learn to say no to things that don't contribute to your financial goals, like expensive dinners, non-essential gadgets, or trendy clothes, you'll have a huge advantage. Instead of wasting money on unnecessary purchases, you'll be directing your resources to what really matters: investing in your future and building assets. This is one of the biggest secrets of rich people. They have the discipline to say no. They know that true financial freedom comes from the ability to live below your means, to choose spending on what will genuinely add value to your life, not on what society says you should buy to feel accepted. Here's a practical solution. Start a daily exercise of questioning yourself before every purchase. Ask yourself, is this going to help me achieve my financial goals, or am I just giving in to a momentary temptation? This simple habit will make all the difference. Remember, the money you save isn't just what you don't spend now. It's what you invest for the future, building a solid foundation for your financial freedom. Now that you understand the power of saying no, let's move on to the next mistake. How many people are ignoring the hidden fees in their investment, which could be draining your returns without you even realizing it? Let's talk about something that could be draining your investment, and you might not even notice: hidden fees. When you invest in financial products like mutual funds, private pension plans, or even some types of stocks, you often pay management fees, performance fees, and other costs that, at first glance, seem small. But these amounts can make a huge difference in your returns over the long term. The problem is that, in many cases, these fees are not very visible. They're hidden in the fine print of contracts or the small print of investment funds. Many people are attracted to funds with great promises of return, but upon closer inspection, they realize they're paying high management fees, which significantly reduce their profit. To understand the impact of this, imagine that you have 10,000 Brazilian reals to invest in a mutual fund. The fund promises a 12% annual return, but it charges a 2% management fee and a 20% performance fee on the profit. At the end of a year, instead of earning the 1,200 Brazilian reals expected return, 12% of 10,000 Brazilian reals, you could end up with much less, depending on how these fees are applied. Here's the solution: pay attention to the fees. Before investing, always check the costs involved. If it's a mutual fund, ask about the management fee and any other hidden fees. Also, consider cheaper and more efficient alternatives like index funds, ETFs, which tend to have much lower fees and are an excellent option for those who want to invest more economically. Investing with low costs means that more of your money works for you and less goes into the pockets of those managing the fund. Remember, compound interest is much more powerful when you have more money invested, fewer fees being deducted. Now, how about starting to look for investment options with lower fees? A simple adjustment in your investment choices could have a huge impact on your returns over the long term. With the investment is clarified, let's talk about another crucial mistake: the idea that working more hours will make you rich. This is a myth that many people believe and that prevents many from achieving true financial freedom. Have you ever believed that working more hours or taking on more side jobs would make you rich? Well, this is one of the biggest financial mistakes you can make. Many people have the false idea that the more they work, the more money they'll earn, and consequently, the richer they'll become. But the truth is quite different. Working more is not synonymous with becoming wealthy. The problem here is that by focusing solely on increasing your working hours, you're ignoring what actually creates wealth, building assets and sources of passive income. True financial freedom comes not from hard work, but from learning how to make money work for you, not the other way around. Let's think of an example. If you work 50 hours a week and earn 5,000 Brazilian reals per month, you'll accumulate a good sum over time, but you'll be trading time for money, which, in the long run, is not sustainable. The issue is that, if you have to work more and more to maintain or increase your income, you'll be stuck in your job and salary, unable to truly grow financially. Now, imagine if you started investing in assets that generate passive income, like rental properties, dividend-paying stocks, or even starting a business that could become self-sustaining. These assets work for you, even when you're not working. Instead of selling hours of your day, you start accumulating wealth in a smart way, making money and assets work for you while you focus on other things. The solution? Invest in assets that can generate passive cash flow, like real estate, stocks, or even create your own business that, over time, becomes a source of income that doesn't directly depend on your time. Start with small steps, but don't forget that the key to financial freedom is passive income. Practical tip: if you haven't invested yet, start with something simple, like investing in real estate funds or dividend-paying stocks. This could be your first step towards a journey of financial freedom. Now that you understand the importance of working strategically and not just more hours, let's talk about a mistake that many people make: the attachment to the past. This mistake is related to how you handle your old financial habits and how they might be holding you back from achieving wealth. Have you ever stopped to reflect on your financial habits today and whether they're the same as they were 10 years ago? Many people continue living financially as if they're still in the same phase of life as before, not realizing that what worked in the past doesn't work in the present. This is the mistake of attachment to the past. We often stick to old habits without questioning whether they're suitable for our current situation. For example, we keep buying things we don't need just because we've always done it, or we maintain a scarcity mentality, as if we have to accumulate things and money instead of investing and growing. This attachment to old habits can manifest in many ways. Some people keep old accounts or subscribe to services they no longer use, simply because that's how it's always been. Others continue impulsive buying habits, purchasing whatever's on sale or what others tell them they need, without reflecting on how this impacts their finances. Here's the key to changing this mistake: reprogram your relationship with money. Start analyzing your consumption habits and see where you can improve. Question everything. Do I really need this? Will this expense help me reach my financial goals? Or is it just an old habit from the past? By doing this, you'll be creating a new financial standard that's aligned with the person you want to become and the goals you want to achieve. Additionally, learn to value what's truly important. Instead of following the same path as before, look for smarter alternatives that align with your present. For example, instead of spending on clothes or material goods, start investing in financial education, long-term investment, or even skills that will help you earn more money in the future. Practical tip: redo your monthly budget and cut everything that's not essential. Redirect that money towards investment or building an emergency fund. Change begins when you decide to stop spending on what doesn't add value and start thinking about the future. Now that you understand the importance of leaving old financial habits behind, let's go to the last mistake that might be compromising your financial success: the lack of a long-term mindset. This is a mistake people make when they focus too much on the short term and don't see the impact of their decisions on the future. Have you noticed that many of your financial decisions are driven by the urgency of the present without considering the impact on the future? This is the mistake of focusing too much on the short term. Many people make the mistake of seeking quick results, such as immediate gains or instant solutions to financial problems, and end up neglecting long-term consequences. The now mentality can appear in various aspects of financial life. For example, instead of investing for the future, you may opt to spend on something that feels urgent but doesn't add value in the long run. Maybe a new phone or a trip you didn't plan for, or even the temptation to take out a quick loan because you have an immediate need without reflecting on how this could impact your financial health in the years to come. The problem is that short-term decisions can sacrifice your financial future. By focusing too much on the present, you neglect what truly creates wealth over time. Financial discipline, patience in investment, and strategic planning. Here's the solution. Invest in a long-term mindset. Think of your financial decision as something that will bear fruit over the next few years. The key is to invest in what truly matters for your financial future, such as education, financial health, real estate, and investments that will generate passive returns over time. When you commit to the long term, you'll realize that it is possible to achieve financial freedom and accumulate wealth in a solid and consistent manner. One important tip: if you have difficulty thinking long term, start creating goals for 5, 10, or 20 years. Ask yourself, where do I want to be financially in 5 or 10 years? What can I do today to ensure I'm closer to that goal? Once you define these goals, you'll realize that making financial decisions becomes much easier and clearer. Practical tip: automate your investment. Set up monthly contributions to long-term investment, such as real estate funds, dividend-paying stocks, or private pension plans. This will ensure that you're always investing for the future without letting present temptations interfere. Now that you've understood the power of investing with a long-term mindset, let's recap all of these mistakes and show you how now is the time to act to correct these habits and finally start walking the path to financial freedom. Now that you know the 7 mistakes that are sabotaging your finances, let's do a quick summary to ensure that you leave this video with clarity about what you need to change immediately. Each of these mistakes represents a behavior or habit that, if corrected, can make all the difference on your journey to wealth. You're working for the bank and not for your. Remember the importance of paying off your debts as quickly as possible, especially those with high interest. Use your income strategically to build wealth and invest in assets instead of just working to pay bills. Buying with a credit card, the fast track to bankruptcy. Be mindful of the high interest rates of credit cards. Whenever possible, opt for cash payments or pay off the entire bill. Remember, controlling your credit is key to maintaining good financial health. Not knowing how to say no, learn to reflect before spending and ask yourself, does this really add value to my financial? Saying no to impulsive spending will help you invest in what's essential for your financial growth. Ignoring the impact of hidden fees. Don't fall into the trap of high management fees and other hidden charges in investment. Always look for alternatives with lower costs, such as ETFs and index funds, which provide better returns in the long run. Focusing only on work and not on assets. Working more hours won't make you rich. The secret is to invest in passive income. Real estate, stocks, and your own business are ways to generate cash flow that will work for you. Attachment to past habits. Breaking free from outdated financial habits is reflect on what's holding you back from growing and start changing your relationship with money to a more modern, future-oriented mindset. Focusing on the short term. Invest in a long-term mindset. When you think about the future, your financial decisions become more strategic, and you can accumulate wealth consistently. Asterisk. These 7 mistakes are common, but easily fixable. The most important thing is that you take control of your financial life now, without waiting for another day or an ideal circumstance. The time to act is now. Now that you're aware of the mistakes and solutions, let's close with one last message on how you can immediately take action to transform your financial reality. Don't delay any longer. We've reached the end of this video, and now it's time to reflect on what you've learned. You already have the tools to correct the mistakes that have been sabotaging your financial life. But remember, knowledge without action is just information. The most important thing now is to put everything into practice. Let's recap the key points. Free yourself from debt and stop working to pay interest. Start using your money strategically, investing to build wealth and passive income streams. Be careful with easy credit. The credit card can be a trap, but with conscious use, it can be a useful tool. Pay your bills in full to avoid the interest eating away at you. Saying no is a financial superpower. By cutting unnecessary expenses you begin to direct your resources toward what truly matters, such as investments and financial education. Be mindful of hidden fees in your investment. Fees can drain your profits over time, so prefer cheaper options like ETFs and index funds. Focus on creating passive income sources such as real estate, stocks, or even your own business. This will free you from the cycle of working to earn money and allow you to start earning money while you sleep. Leave behind old habits. What worked in the past may not be the best for you now. Reprogram your mind to be more strategic with your money. Think long term. Wealth doesn't come from impulsive decisions, but from strategic planning and consistent actions over time. Investing in the future is what will put you on the path to financial freedom. Asterisk asterisk. Now, what will you do with this knowledge? It's useless to know what to do if you don't act. Start today. Grab your phone or computer and do something that puts you on the right track. Here are some practical actions you can take right now. Pay off a debt or make an extra payment on your credit card bill. Open an investment account and start investing monthly, even if it's a small amount. Evaluate your financial habits and see what you can cut or improve. Asterisk asterisk. Remember, financial transformation doesn't happen overnight, but with consistency and discipline, it is absolutely possible. And most importantly, you're not alone. If you apply these strategies consistently, you will see the results. Change starts when you decide to take action. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these mistakes do you make most often? What will change in your financial life starting today? Comment below, because not only will this help me understand your journey, but it may also inspire others who are watching. And if you like this content and want to learn more about transforming your financial life, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of the upcoming videos. I want to help you achieve financial freedom. Remember, the road to wealth begins with a decision to change. Now it's your moment. Let's go on this journey together. As I always say, it's not about how much you earn, but how you manage what you have. And you've already taken the first step toward financial success. Congratulations on your decision to transform your life. I believe in you. See you in the next video.